What's going on, YouTube? So I'm gonna be doing a video here today to talk to you guys about Trioton. This right here is a professional water test. I've been wanting to do one of these for a while. Here in Orlando on Saturday and Sunday we had a Reefapalooza. So at the show they had the tests there for a lot cheaper than what you can get them online. So I went ahead and took advantage and got the test. I also picked up a couple of coral, which I'll shoot a video on them at the end of the video here for you. Now Trioton, this is a company based out of Germany. In Germany they have a professional lab with the latest technology. They have a monster plasma machine that pretty much breaks down your water chemistry. They can test for all your parameters and trace elements. They'll be able to tell you, your water chemistry, if there's anything wrong with the water. The nice thing about it, if there is anything wrong with your water chemistry, they would also tell you how to correct the issue. Now, Trioton, they also have their own reefing method that you can use. They take a more natural approach as far as keeping the elements and your trace elements and parameters as stable, as close to natural seawater. Now once you start the method and you get it going and you get it honed in, it pretty much runs your tank on its own. And interesting thing about it is that it eliminates your water changes. Now by any means, it's not saying that the method was created to eliminate water changes. It's more to keep things stable as far as your parameters at all times. Now, in cases, depending on if there is something wrong with your water, for example, if they find that you have copper or anything like that, they will probably recommend you to do water changes until you get everything back to normal before you start the method. But they do recommend for you to do the analysis before you jump into their reefing method. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do here. I'm saying water changes, that is a highly debated topic within the reefing community. But there is a lot of sense behind the science. I mean, if you ask a reefer why they do water changes, the first thing they're probably going to tell you is to replenish trace elements back into the water, to eliminate debris, or for nutrient transport, to remove nutrients from your system. Now, as far as to replenish trace elements, I believe that's probably true for smaller systems like nano tanks, where if you have a good salt and you do your water changes, you actually see the elements being replenished. But in my case, in my 120-gallon tank, when I do water changes, I don't really see my parameters replenish. I actually see my parameters go down. For example, when I do my 20% water change, magnesium, I usually keep it at 1360. Every time I do a water change of 20%, after my water change, I check all my parameters. I always notice that my magnesium drops down to 1260. So water changes on a bigger system, bigger tanks, they don't really keep things stable. They actually, move your parameters out of whack, and you have to bring them back up to where you want them. So it doesn't really replenish, in my opinion, trace elements back into bigger systems. I believe it does probably work for smaller tanks. Now, as far as nutrient export to remove debris, that is a way of doing it through water changes. For example, if you want to remove detritus or buildup in your sump, you can do it by siphoning it out through a water change. In my case, if you guys remember when I had the cyano outbreak and I was doing water changes, it was mostly to siphon out the mats of cyano. It wasn't really to help me out with the nutrient export. It was more to siphon out the cyano. So I don't believe Water changes helps you out as far as nutrient export. There's other methods, like your biopellets, your GFO, your carbon, of getting rid of nutrients in the system. Water changes, I don't believe they help a lot. Another example, when I was running my system with only fish, I didn't have a skimmer, I didn't have a refugium. I noticed that my nitrates were creeping up. So my 20% water changes weekly weren't doing anything to the nitrates. I actually had to do a 50% water change to get some of the nitrates drop, and by doing a 50% water change, it only dropped them down by 2 ppm, meaning that you would have to do several 50% water changes to even start impacting your nitrates. And as we all know, that's not, it's going to stress our livestock. So I mean, there is some sense behind the science on the method. But I mean, you guys don't have to try out the method. You can, if you guys want, you can only do the test, which in my opinion, it's a good idea to do. You guys can compare your tests, your test kits that you're using at home to do your to check your parameters. You can actually do one of these tests. Check your parameters the day you're going to collect the water, and compare samples, compare the parameters with your test kits to make sure to see how off or how accurate they are. Another thing that's nice also, if you're having any issues with your tank as far as your coral dying, your SPS RTNing, it takes the guessing game out. You don't, if you do the water test, you can check to see what's actually going on with the tank, if there's any problems or issues. And if there is any issues, they would also tell you how to fix the issue. So I think it's pretty good to do. I am going to do the Trioton method. At the show, I also purchased the base elements to start out the method, which I'll show you guys in a different video. Now, when you purchase the kit, this is what you get here. You get the envelope. It gives you some instructions on what to do. Envelope already has a paid stamp for you to mail it back. Brings your 2 vials, some stickers, and these cards. Now, they want you to rinse out the vials at least 3 times with the tank water. Fill them up. Make sure the caps are screwed on there tightly. You're going to then go to the Trioton website and register. Once you register, they're going to give you an ID number. That's the ID number you're always going to use whenever you send water samples in. You can also set up several tanks if you have several tanks. Now, once you get your ID number and you register, that ID number, you're going to put them down here on these stickers. You're gonna place the stickers here on the vials and put everything back in the envelope. You gotta make sure these cards are in the envelope. If not, they will not perform the test. I guess this is a way of them making sure that you're not sending in a counterfeit test or something like that. So just make sure everything's back in the envelope, mail it in. It takes anywhere from 7 to 10 business days for you to get results back. Once results are in, you're going to get an email letting you know that your results are in. And all you have to do is just log back in to check your results. So yeah, guys, it's going to be interesting to check to see how my water chemistry is doing in my tank. I am currently dosing and testing for potassium, iodine, and iron. So I am going to be testing those parameters today to jot down my numbers, including my magnesium, calcium, and alkalinity, just so I know what my water parameters are up till today's date when I collect my water, and that way I can compare those samples those results when I get it back with my water results here. So yeah, guys, I will be keeping you guys updated once I get the results. and see how the method works. Another thing I am going to have to do is remove my miracle mud. So once I start the method, I'm gonna be doing that and doing more videos to keep you guys updated on the system. Let me go ahead and give you guys a look at some of the corals I picked up here at the show. Alright guys, so one of the pieces that I picked up at the show at Reefapalooza was this neon bird nest that you see there. I also picked up this Superman chalice that you see there in the back with the pink eyes, blue and green. Chalice land. And this blue acro here with the green polyps. So yeah guys, I'll keep you guys updated when once I get my water results in. If you guys want to check out the Trioton website or their YouTube, you can take a look at Deshaun's tank. He's the creator of Trioton. His tank is amazing. He's been running his tank now for approximately 5 years plus without a single water change, and it's a beautiful tank. If you guys want to take a look at it, here are some last shots of the tank.